Played Friday night. Got a good win, open the season against Brescia. Got a chance to play, all 11 guys, quality minutes. Saturday, it was a good opportunity for us Saturday because of the odd game on Friday night to break up into basically gold and blue, first team and then the freshmen and do a lot of offense, get a lot of offense in that we have not been able to get in yet. And and break that down with those guys and teach some of those freshmen and rep that. And so we broke them into 2 hour-and-a-half groups on Saturday and took Sunday off, for your mandatory off week because now we're a full slate starting today at 3:30.
Any questions? How did you see Phil? What's the best thing you saw and the worst thing you saw in the Brescia?
I watched the Brescia game Friday night, Saturday morning. It's just a hard game, just to, really evaluate. The biggest thing that those games sometimes lends you to do is getting out of position defensively, just trying to make a home run play, a steal, to get an easy basket. And we got to be great defensively. You don't have to gamble. You just have to be strong with your fundamentals, be in a stance. And if you pressure them the right way, they'll just give you the ball instead of trying to make a home run play. And you don't want that to, you want to stay solid fundamentally defensively. And that's the biggest thing. Offensively, we've just got to continue to know what we're doing. But the biggest thing I just saw from that game the other night was just, we just got to continue to have a defensive mindset for 40 minutes.
Coach, talk to me a little bit between the exhibition game and Brescia. It looks like Stacey Wilson has settled into his starting position nicely. Talk to me a little bit about how his game has developed and what you expect to see from him, moving forward.
Well, he has. He's worked hard in the spring, in the summer. He's worked hard. Last year he battled a little bit of injuries and he played behind some really, really good players. He knows what his role is on this team. He's got to defend first, but he is our second primary scorer on the perimeter. What he's got to do a better job of is understanding shot selection, when to score, when to reverse the ball, and he'll continue to get better at that. And then defensively is just, like we just touched on, is not gambling, not taking himself out of position because he's going to be one of our top 2 defenders.
Have any of the freshman post players separated themselves yet as you went on the Charleston Classic?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just by committee. I thought Zay rebounded 6 rebounds in 9 minutes, and Eric was a little bit more aggressive, and then Tehran was okay. When you go back and look at the numbers and the stats, so I think it's really going to depend in Charleston based on matchups and based on who's playing well. I think Jeffrey Moss as the one freshman has separated himself a little bit.
Is this one of those situations where even as you get into the tougher part of your schedule, you might have a bigger rotation than 7, 8, 9 guys? You might have to play even more than that as you go.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Last year, we played 9 guys, but if you look really at the heart of the games, majority of the games, we played 7 guys. So I don't have any problem doing that. It's just who's going to give us the best opportunity to win on that night, especially based on the other team's matchups and based on how we need to play.
Stacey, I know last year he struggled in the line a little bit. I'm sure he worked on it. Do you see him improving this year? I think 56% from the shot last year.
Yeah, I hope so, because he's going to be in the game quite a bit on the perimeter. Hopefully he's getting fouls. That's the one biggest thing I hope we continue to do. We just don't settle for shooting jump shots. We try to put pressure on the basket with the way we play. And him and Isaiah, both, and even Dexter Fields, I just don't want him to be a catch-and-shoot guy. We got to put pressure on the basket, get paint touches, get to the free throw line. But I think Stacey, he's too good of a shooter not to be around 80%, I think.
Is Dexter's early struggles from the field just rust, kind of get back in the flow?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Because in practice, he's played well and made shots, throughout the fall. He's battled injuries a little bit here and there since he's been here with knees and ankles, and so I don't know if it's just a combination of things, but he's got to be ready to play and play well for us this week.
Tell us about Auburn and what you see there.
Well, they beat IPFW Friday night as well by 11, I think 61-50. Changed defenses a little bit. We'll see a lot of zone. They play a lot of 2-3 zone. that we've seen so far. They play some 2-2-1, three-quarter, try to slow you down, make you reverse the ball in the backcourt a little bit. They're led by two players, Robert Chubb, big physical post player, got great size and strength, and he's a senior. And then another senior, Frankie Sullivan, who is really just, a microwave guy trying to really score the basketball, really good in transition, can make threes, can put pressure on the rim, get to the basket. So, we got to do a great job on those two guys, but they've got some very talented freshmen, just knowing their recruiting class that I think gives them some good depth. And, they do some similar things, when I watch them on tape. So, we've got to do a great job, first and foremost on the defensive end, defending them and making them play in a half court. We can't give them any easy transition baskets.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about Ed Daniel. He looks really comfortable at the free throw line. Is that something that's just early in the season? He's not really thinking about it as much, or did he work on that a lot during the summer?
I think he worked on it, but then I think secondly, I think he's a senior now, and I heard him talk the other day is there shouldn't be any pressure, It's just go play, and I think that's when he shoots his free throws. He just goes up there and shoots them, and, if he can stay around 70% for our year, for the season for him, that'll be terrific, and it'll help us increase our scoring load.
Just a little bit on Brandon Garrett. Has he progressed from last year? I know he's in the starting role now. What kind of progress have you seen in that?
Well, I thought he did a decent job watching the tape the other night. He's going to have to. I want him to continue to stay hungry. Because with our losses in the fall, in the summer, it put Brandon an opportunity to get that starting position. But he can't be content with that. He's got to solidify that now, and you solidify that by going out there and producing on the offensive and defensive end. Defensive end first, because we're going to need his length and size, and we're going to need his rebounding, as we get into the heart of this tournament and further on into the year. But the one thing he does provide with us is fifth-year senior experience, has played in some big games, and knows what we're doing.
How is Trez coming along?
He's doing good. The best thing I'm happy for him, his mindset's been great. He could be in a depression and really struggling, but he's worked every day. He's really working hard. He's ahead of rehab scheduling-wise. His schedule, he's ahead, in that rehab schedule, but I don't know what that means, though, if that means he can start playing in February or what that exactly means. But his mindset's been great. He's been good with the guys on the floor. Trying to talk to some of those new guys and younger guys, and I'm most proud of him right now of being really locked in and focused and trying to just get his body healthy.